Well, hey there, everybody. How y'all doing on this lovely Tuesday evening? Now, I wanted to do this. I wanted to talk a little bit about this because I just heard a little, like what, maybe hour or so ago, that the NHL finally, for at least headwear, is going to new era for their hats. As to which I am like, thank you. And what the hell took so long? Because I wanted to do a little comparison here. Now, these, of course, I'm trying to think, what should I show first? Yeah, let me show the new era. Let me show the new era ones first. Now, since 2010, they had from 2010 up until basically 2018, the NHL Stanley Cup hats, the Stanley Cup champion hats, were made by different manufacturers. Some there were a couple that were New Era, some were Reebok. One of them was 47, and they all had some unique looks. They all looked really good. And then Fanatics took over everything. Now, mind you, Fanatics, the T-shirts, like, I mean, this shirt here, this is an okay design. I like this. I like the shirt here. They at least show the Stanley Cup on the shirt. Now, let me show here. These are the three New Era hats, Stanley Cup hats that I have. Of course, you can see they're all New Era right there. There's the logo. Now, I'm hoping this means that we can get a return to something like these. This is, of course, the 2010 Stanley Cup champion hat from the Chicago Blackhawks. Look how prominent the Stanley Cup is there on the front. Look at the embroidery. Look at how nice that is. New Era. And, of course, Stanley Cup final on the back. Looks good. I love this hat. This is a hat that can definitely stand out. Now, then they did Reebok for 1 year, as the lighting just went a little odd on the camera. All of a sudden, I'm like, why did I look dark? But getting back to it, here is the 2012 Stanley Cup hat from the LA Kings. Look at that. Look at that hat. 2012. Of course, the Stanley Cup, very prominent there. Of course, New Era. Stanley Cup final in the back. Looks nice. Looks very nice. And then, of course, we have 2014. Now this one's a little dirty because I mean it's had some wear on it, as you can tell from the brim there, because gotta love how they all made stuff white. But look at this. Look at this 2014 Stanley Cup hat. Look at that. Look how nice that is. Look at the embroidery. Look how sweet that is. Of course, that's New Era there. And the other cool thing is, underneath, there's the as you know, it's probably shows up a little different on. Actually, that might look a little better. There we go. As you know, but I mean, you get little designs like that. It looks cool. The embroidery looks nice. Of course, there you have. The Stanley Cup champions on the back. And of course, that's, these were all New Era hats. Then we go to Fanatics. Now, Fanatics started out okay. This one's from 2018. This one actually was not bad. I didn't mind this one at all. This one actually looked pretty cool. Now, granted, they don't have the Stanley Cup on the front anywhere, but at least, on the back they showed, Stanley Cup champions. But then it just kind of goes downhill from there. Even the 2019 Fanatics hats. I mean, this isn't bad either. It's fully embroidered. It looks nice. The logo is nice. It's stitched. It's nice. I mean, this part, I mean, this part's stitched, but it's not. You know, I mean, this is a glued on piece, but it's straight and it looks good. And of course, you know, on the back, you know, there's Stanley Cup Champions. But then it's almost like, you know, once the world went stupid, once everybody collectively at the same time went completely 100% duh, Fanatics goes and starts doing this. Really? Now, mind you, and of course, what do all these have? What do all these have in common? It's when everybody started going stupid when COVID happened. Fanatics. Now, at least here on the back, you got, you know, you still at least have that. You still at least have that looks decent. But where's the creativity? It disappeared. Then, of course, as I knock into the microphone, so that might sound a little odd when you watch this back. But then we go, here's this. Again, where's the creativity? Again, you still have at least, you know, the Stanley Cup Champions, you know, thing back here, which still looks decent. And this is a snapback. I like the snapback hats. I do like the snapback hats. Those are nice. But it started getting worse. I mean, again, creativity. Where's the creativity? Now, of course, some people will go and say, you know, well, you know, you knock Fanatics, but, you know, you keep getting their stuff. I get the Stanley Cup stuff every year. Doesn't matter who wins, I get the shirt and I get a hat. I have been every year since at least 2010. I mean, I've had stuff from before then that, you know, they're somewhere else, you know, hat wise or whatever. But I mean, you know, the creativity just started going away. They embraced full on laziness. And then, of course, I mean, you got the little Stanley Cup. That's the new Stanley Cup type logo that they've been going with on the patches and that. I'm sorry, something like that should be on the front. Embroider the Stanley Cup hat on, you know, at least do some embroidery there, something. And then, of course, this one got a lot of flack last year because there were so many of them that were crooked because they didn't know how to put them on. But I mean, again, where's the creativity? And again, there's the Stanley Cup, the little shiny Stanley Cup logo. Again, the Stanley Cup, front and center. Why is that so hard? Why is that so hard? You know, I mean, honestly, it shouldn't be that difficult to figure out that you put the Stanley Cup front and center. And then, of course, you have this year's. This year's actually, I mean, considering the last couple of years, this one wasn't bad, but still, the Stanley Cup needs to be front and center. I mean, yeah, it can say Stanley Cup Champions on it. Yeah, okay, that's all well and good. And of course, there's the little shiny logo there. But why is the Stanley Cup not front and center? This is what I'm hoping with New Era making the headwear when it comes to the conference championship hats and the Stanley Cup hats. Can we get something like this? Can we finally get some decent workmanship on the front of the hat? Can we get some creativity here? In comparison to the Fanatics hats. Can we get, you know, I mean, can we get a little bit of creativity here? I mean, can we at least get something? I mean, you know, I saw that, you know, the NHL partnering with New Era to make headwear, and I'm like, I'm like, oh, thank heavens. Let's get some creativity here. Let's make these hats look good. Not the lame Fanatics hats, because again, the first couple years Fanatics made the champion hats, they weren't bad. I mean, they didn't have the Stanley Cup front and center, but you had some embroidery work into this. I mean, they actually looked halfway decent. But I mean, they went from this in 2018 to 2019 to, where did I put those? I think I put them all the way back here. Stay. But then they just kind of started going, just kind of, laziness. That was 2020, 2021, 2022. 2023, and of course, this year's 2024. So, New Era making the hats again. Let's, fingers crossed, let's hope that when it comes to the championship stuff, I mean, and not even necessarily the championship stuff, let's make these hats look good. Let's make the hats look good. Let's get some good designs in there. Let's get some creativity in there. Like what used to be, I mean, I have hats sitting somewhere, probably out in the shed somewhere. I mean, I've got hats that are out there from like 20 years ago that I would take over the Fanatics, over a lot of the Fanatics hats designs like that. So hopefully we get some creativity here. And we get back to making the Stanley Cup when it comes time for the champion hats, the Stanley Cup front and center on the front of the hat. It shouldn't be that hard to figure out. So I wish New Era all the best of luck. I hope we get some creativity, some real embroidery, some real designs, and let's make these hats look. This might. I mean, can we make the Stanley Cup hats great again? That kind of thing. Can we make the Stanley Cup hats great again? That's kind of my thought. Let's put the Stanley Cup front and center again. And let's get away from these lame, just bland kind of designs, I mean, because to me they're lame. So I wish New Era the best of luck. And yeah, what do you guys think of the New Era partnership? Do you think we'll actually have some hope of getting some decent looking and decent quality hats, especially when it comes time to the champion hats, the conference champions and the Stanley Cup champions, in comparison to the other sports? Are we finally going to get some decent creativity? I hope so. Let me know what you guys think. If you like this video, it only takes about half a second to click that like button. Also, too, if you really enjoyed the video, also only takes about half a second, and it would be greatly, greatly appreciated if you hit that subscribe button. And, if you want to share this video or, any other videos on the channel, go right ahead, share them with friends, family, whoever. And yeah, so New Era taking over the headwear. What do you think? Good? Bad? We finally going to get some good designs, especially come the Stanley Cup stuff? Or is it just going to be more of the same, do you think? Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you guys later.